All right, we're gonna go through equipment. Me, for instance, bull ropes. A lot of guys ride with Brazilian ropes. Some of them ride with American ropes. I'll start with American. I'll finish with an American. I get mine. There's a lot of bull rope makers out there. You just find what fits you, how you like them. Mine's a bar sew. Pretty plain Jane, pretty simple. I don't put a whole lot of thought into riding bulls, and I see a lot of guys carry 2 or 3 ropes with them, multiple things. I've got one rope, one set of everything in there. If something of mine breaks while I'm at an event or at a rodeo, I have to borrow it. I figure if you carry multiple bull ropes, then and try to figure out you ride with one time and then you ride with a different one. As long as you do it right, you can ride them with a flank rope. So I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. Whatever feels good to me. And a lot of times, guys will see my ropes. I will ride with one until they're wore, slap, plumb out. This one, it's not wore out, but it's getting there. And when they start getting broke down, that's when I really like them. I tie my end in there where it stays in there, and when they start breaking down, it stays a little better. So the rule of thumb, if you're first starting out, you've never been on bulls, I do everything in this world right-handed except ride bulls. You use your more dominant hand to balance with, that way you have more control over it, because pretty much all this hand has to do is lift, push, and hold on. So, I mean, it's got an important job, but your free arm gets you bucked off more than anything. So I always tell people, if you're right-handed, if you ride right-handed, you do everything right-handed, ride left-handed. If you ride left-handed, you do everything left-handed, then you ride right-handed. Just use your more dominant arm to balance with. Sometimes that doesn't work, but that's a good rule of thumb starting out anyways for someone who's never been on and wanting to start. Then to get you a set of, you got to have some bells. In the PBR, they don't allow the ring on the rope. They said it pulls up against the bull, which is, I don't believe that, but I always use a ring on mine. That way it always slides to the bottom of your rope. You'll see guys when they pull their rope, if they got leather or they got something else, it'll come up the side where you hang your spur in that leather or that whatever you got holding your bells on. I've seen guys drag around by that. I've drug around by that. So I went to the metal ring. It's just a bull ring. You can get it at Tractor Supply. I put it on there, and that way when I shake my bells down on that bull rope, the weight and the way it slides around that rope, it always stays in the middle of their belly underneath them, so you don't have to worry about your spurs getting in it or anything like that. I've rode with the same kind of rope since I've started. I get the X braid, so you don't have sliders or keepers slide. You got to slide around and everything. You don't have to move them. Put your knot where you want it, however big the bull is. Sometimes I ride with a pad, sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends how I'm feeling. I've got a plate in my left hand, so a lot of times now I do ride with a pad, because right where the plate's at, I got a screw backing out. So right where it pulls down into my hand is right where the screw's backing out. It'll pinch my hand a little bit if I don't have a pad on there. But as you can tell, there ain't much pad. That's not very thick. I don't like big pads. I like to, and another thing is I see a lot of guys with great big old handles. And what I mean by that is my handle's long, but when you set it flat, mine's about a 3-finger gap in it. You'll see some bull ropes, them guys will have 4 or 5-finger gaps in them. I never liked it. Mine, I like being able to feel it pulling down in that bull. When they pull it, I want it to pull down on my hand, because if it doesn't, if you got a big old riser on your rope in here and it sticks up, well, it doesn't ever pull that tight on your hand. And I push a lot more than I lift on my bull rope. So when I push my hand, there's nothing to stop it from rolling all the way around that handle. This rope, when I pull it down and it's pulled into my hand, one, I know exactly how much rope I've got pulled in that bull. And two, when it's pulled tight and I do like that, that pad right there blocks it from rolling completely around. Just gives another stop. That way my hand don't roll out of that bull rope. But there again, that's preference. You know, there's different ways to skin a cat, so you got to figure out what feels good to you, what you ride best with, and that's what you stick with. And I've rode with ropes pretty much identical to this one since I was riding bulls, so that's what I've stuck with for 30 years. And these bells are probably older than most kids riding now. I've had these bells, these same two bells, and you can tell if you look close, I've had to weld them back a few times where they broke and things, but I've had these same two bells since I was probably 15 years old.